go down south. Lewis, to one of your favorite guys, Tua. So after a back and forth last week regarding Tua and his former coach Brian Flores, as the Dolphins signal caller criticized how Flores treated him during their time together, Tua expounded on the importance of a quarterback-head coach relationship. Tua, talk to me.
Do you think it's more important for a quarterback to have support of his head coach than maybe possibly any other position?
Yeah, 100%. This is a quarterback-driven league. I 100% think that. Without a good team, without a good quarterback, I don't think you can do much in this league. Sure, you can have good defense. There's really good offenses in this league. You got to put up points, and you got to find ways to do that. So, I definitely believe that for sure.
All right, Lewis, you've obviously been in locker rooms, you've been in front offices. What's your reaction to Tua's comments there?
He's 100% right. Look, the great quarterback whisperers, quarterback teachers that I've been around, and really I've been around one of the very best. Maybe when it's all said and done, he'll be considered the best, and that being Andy Reid. Look, he put his relationship with his quarterbacks above all else. Whether it was from Donovan McNabb to Michael Vick to Kevin Kolb to Alex Smith, now to Patrick Mahomes, that's where it starts. That relationship is different than the relationship he has with every other player on the team, because that position comes with it a set of responsibilities and requirements that are so far and above and beyond what everyone else on the team has to contend with. Not just in terms of like the skill it takes to play the position, but the requirements in terms of leadership, competency, dedication, toughness, the responsibility that you have to all the other players, not just on offense, but on the team overall, the salary that you command, the kind of things, the kind of demands that are put on your time, not just from the coaches and the players, but from ownership, sponsors, marketing, appearances. You have to be in lockstep with that guy. And if you are actively beating that man down and telling him, I don't even know why you're here. I don't even think you're good. You don't even think we should have drafted you. Man, we should have taken someone else. Man, you suck. Man, you're not as good as I thought you were. And the quarterback himself is sitting there telling everyone around him, I don't even I think I do suck. Because my head coach is telling me I do. And he's telling you like he told us in a production meeting last year. It got to the point where he was the first guy out of the building and the last guy in the building because he didn't feel he was worthy. He started to believe what was being put in his head. That's so damn shocking to me, I can't stand it. And that is exactly why, along with many other reasons why, that are just purely football reasons. That's one of the reasons why owners are very reluctant sometimes to hire defensive coaches in today's game. Because of that relationship, that dynamic that needs to exist. There are obviously guys who get it done. DeMeco Ryans is writing you a textbook, a how to get on with your quarterback as a defensive coach. But I'm telling you, down there, it could not have been more dysfunctional.
Go ahead, Doug.
He's 100% right, and that's the reason why Flores is going to have a tough time getting a job down the road, because Mike McDonald goes into Miami after he leaves, and McDonald's done a great job with his offense. And let's not forget this. Flores took Tua out of a game in Tennessee late in the year one year because he didn't like the way he was playing. He put Ryan Fitzpatrick in around Christmas in Oakland and Vegas to salvage their year. He had no faith in Tua whatsoever, and Tua obviously feels bad about it. Feels he got a raw deal, and he's making sure we all know about this now. That is the biggest reason why Flores is not going to get a job down the road. Owners are going to say, hold on now. How come you couldn't get Tua going? You got McDonald down there. They got a prolific offense. You were there. You didn't believe in him.
McDaniel.
I keep on saying McDonald. McDaniel. And as a result of that, that is going to hurt Flores down the road. Now, here's the one thing I would disagree with. I agree with Lewis, but the one thing I know he's higher on Tua than I am. Tua's got a lot to prove still to me. He's got to be able to win in the cold weather. He is a good quarterback, but he doesn't run great. I don't know if he, in a big spot on the road against a big player in awful weather, which is what you're going to have to do out of Miami on a road game, if he is good enough to win that kind of game. And that's why you're paying him $50 million a year. That's the one thing I would say about Tua. But as far as his relationship with Flores is concerned, if you are a head coach and you don't have a kinship with your quarterback, you are not going to make it. Walsh, Montana, Belichick, Brady, Lombardi, Starr, Eubank, and John Unitas. You must have a relationship with the QB. Bradshaw, those are the guys that win the Super Bowls in the NFL. And if a coach can't have that, you're not going to be successful.
Well, in any industry, if you're the leader, you're the quarterback. That's euphemism for quarterback and what have you, for leadership, actually. If you don't have a good relationship with your leader, you don't have much. That's the bottom line in any profession. So you got to get that out the way. That's number one. Number two, I've challenged you on this, Doggy, in terms of that being a big reason why he may not get a job. I think the lawsuit involving the NFL and the Miami Dolphins, I definitely think that hurts him as well, so we can't ignore that. Lewis, let me get to you and what you're saying because, first of all, I don't disagree with a single word that you said. You're Brian Flores. The fact that Tua Tagovailoa came out and articulated what he articulated with specificity in regards to how you talk to him is so egregious. It was so uncalled for that it's going to be hard for Brian Flores to overcome that. What organization is going to trust you in the future with the quarterback? With being an overseer in a leadership position where you get to delegate responsibility to others. And here's where Brian Flores is ultimately indicted. One would use the word cruelty, assuming Tua is telling the truth and none of us believe he's lying. The other word that's apropos is immaturity. Let's call it what it is. Brian Flores knew good and damn well that Stephen Ross wanted Tua. He wanted Justin Herbert. That's who he wanted. Remember, they had the 5th pick. Chargers had the 6th pick. It was Herbert that he wanted. So he was not wrong about what he felt in the eyes of most football aficionados, Lewis, but how he handled not getting his way is where the word immaturity comes in. Because you wanted Herbert. And because you didn't get the quarterback you wanted, you took it out on Tua because you couldn't take it out on your boss, who's Stephen Ross. And then the reason why that's relevant is because we get to piggyback off of that now that you're not there any longer, and we get to take into account the allegations that you leveled against Stephen Ross, and you're probably feeling like, yo, he cost me my career because if I had Herbert instead of Tua, we would have won more. If I had Herbert instead of Tua, I wouldn't have had these experiences with Tua. I wouldn't have acted this way, and I might still be a head coach in the National Football League. I'm not saying that's the reality. I'm saying we can deduce that the potential is there for that being the reality. But in the end, Lewis, Tua doesn't get left off the hook here. He's 12-13 career-wise on the road, okay? In inclement weather, 40 degrees and lower, he ain't win. In 70 degrees and lower, he doesn't win. Literally, I had a number here last week or so that I showed it to Molly and everybody else. The Miami Dolphins, with Tua as their quarterback, nearly 75% of their wins has come in 70-degree weather or better.
Yeah.
The minute the weather is colder, this dude can't do it. And so he's got something to prove. And last but not least, we can give Mike McDaniels all the credit in the world, but I will say this, albeit rhetorically, Lewis. If Brian Flores had Tyreek Hill, what would it look like offensively for the Miami Dolphins when he was there? See, we looking at McDaniels, we're not thinking about the personnel. That's Tyreek Hill. McDaniel, I'm sorry. That's Mike McDaniel. That's Tyreek Hill he has.
Yeah.
That Tua has and Mike McDaniel has.
You know what?